Scotland against Romania, Rugby World Cup 2023, folks. It's a pretty impressive scoreline. Scotland 84-0 is the biggest loss that the Romanians have been handed thus far at the World Cup. Bigger than the Romanians against the South Africans and bigger than the Romanians against the Irish. A bunch of tries, few high tackles, but ultimately sets Scotland up with a pretty big clash for their survival, for their quarterfinals potential berth against Ireland next week. And Romania have got Tonga next, which that's the game of their World Cup. Still going to be a tough ask, you would imagine, but yeah, hopefully they can at least get some points on the board because that's two games in a row. They have had not a lot of going. What do you say about this game? Scotland not opting for any penalties, obviously, early. They did take a little while to get going. It was a little bit tentative earlier, messy line out. They missed the chance when they got a penalty, and Ben Healy missed touch. He missed touch a couple of times in the first half. It took them around about 10 minutes to get the first try when they went 10 plus phases, and then Watson went over Redpath with a pretty sweet offload. It was still pretty tentative by the quarter of an hour mark. I mean, you had Javan Sebastian with a big old dummy. You had Darcy Graham with the offloading, but they couldn't quite nail that final punch, that final play. But it came, man. I mean, Healy put Darcy Graham into a big gap, and then he set up Lally Price for a try. 14-0. Darcy Graham had some gas and some steps to go through basically a formed ruck next to it. There was just nobody there. He just gassed straight through it and then stepped the fullback. 21-0. There was a first yellow card for Romania for a shoulder to the head of Ben Healy. He copped a bit of punishment in this game, to be honest. Yellow card. Scotland looked to punish with a maul. Jamie Batty went close, but it was TMO'd to be short. He gets 2 tries. TMO'd in this game, 1 for short and 1 for losing it over the line. Second yellow card for Romania for cynical play, so 15v13. Scotland get their bonus point try. It's Darcy Graham. Harris with the draw and pass. Harris is a pretty good game. I mean, if you can call it a game, hiding. 28-0. The yellow card for Romania was to stay a yellow card, which was pretty fortunate because you don't want these guys having 14 guys. They're having enough trouble with 15. Scotland some big carries. Matt Fagerson with a finish, 35-0. Another high tackle yellow card from Romania. And then Graham gets his first half hat trick when Harris has a line break of his own. Gets it to Price, and Price returns the favour, having been given a try earlier by Graham. Gets one back. So 42-0 at half time. That's exactly half the score. So the pace does not let up. It continues on. At half time, there's 5 missed tackles by Scotland, 42 missed tackles by Romania. Scotland have had 117 carries to 29, and the penalty count is 7-2. That's not even including the blowout. Well, that is including the penalties, but the yellow cards are on top of that as well. Second half, Romania, they get a few bright spots. They win a scrum penalty and immediately miss touch. Scotland counter, Redpath to Harris for another try. Jamie Batty gets denied his second one, but Smith gets a try. He's maybe a little bit greedy. He's lucky he gets it because he gets a big line break on a kick return. He doesn't pass it to set up an easier try, but then releases the ball, picks it up again, and goes again. The TMO has to check it, but he's given it, so he's fortunate because he would have been given a bit of grief if he'd not got it. 56-0. Darcy Graham hits up Ben Healy with one, 63-0. Then there's the best period of Romanian pressure on, about 65 minutes. They did give it a go. They put Scotland under a bit of pressure for an extended period. But eventually they tried a cross kick, which was probably not the option. It was too big, straight into touch. But they at least gave the Scottish defence a bit of a go. They got close to the Scottish line. I was cheering them on to at least get some kind of score. It didn't happen. And then, there's another great Scotland try on 70 minutes where Matthews gets one. Who would have thought he would have been scoring a Rugby World Cup try? The way Horn kept the ball in and just the way they spun the ball wide was thing of beauty stuff. And for the reserve hooker who's not even supposed to be there to finish it off is fantastic. Darge gets one. Darcy Graham gets his fourth. It's a rout. But like I said, apart from suffering a few big shots to the head, Scotland will be pretty happy with this outing. It's given them as best a chance they can at getting themselves into the quarterfinals. Obviously, It's a massive game against Ireland next week for them. And as I said, for Romania, they've got Tonga, which is the easiest ask of the 4 teams they have to play. Possession in this one, 59-41. Territory, 62-38. Run meters is an insane 1,153. It's very, very rare for sides to hit 1,000 meters. I always go back to the fact that when the All Blacks put Tonga to the sword with 100 points during the COVID era, that was 1,000 points. Like when Tonga had to field a really makeshift side because they couldn't get their big internationals back and got 100 points put on them, that was 1,000 meters. That's the kind of scope you're talking about. So that's nuts. I mean, Romania had 309, 25 clean breaks to 1, 70 defenders beaten to 11, 27 offloads to 2. Darcy Graham, 200 plus run meters, 7 clean breaks, 14 defenders beaten, 4 tries. What an insane shift. He will never have numbers like that again, surely. Skinner had 13 from 13 tackles. Ben Healy had 100 plus meters. Chris Harris had 100 plus meters. Even Kyle Steyn, who couldn't get a bloody try despite all these tries, got 100 or 98 meters or something like that. I mean, Rostu, the flanker, had 10 from 12, which was among the best tackling stats of the Romanians, but he also got a yellow card and 3 penalties conceded. So, yes, not a great day at the office for Romania. Not a great World Cup for Romania thus far. I mean, they're in a pretty tough pool, but geez, they've been put to the sword 3 times, so it's pretty disheartening for them. But well done, Scotland. Hopefully all you guys recover from the big shots, but they certainly put some points on the board. Points difference looking all right. We look forward to next week's games. I'm off to watch Chile and Argentina because I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, watch this one slightly delayed. I was about half an hour behind the action, but got there in the end. You guys let us know your thoughts, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.